fragrances for men that get the best women's reactions. So, you want to attract the female gaze with your fragrances. I have a few that will do that pretty well. And I'm going to start with one that has become one of my favorites, actually. This is Layton from Parfum de Mali. So the thing about this is a super, super high quality fragrance. This is primarily a spicy fragrance. Kind of tingles the nose with its spices, but it also has a little bit of sweetness, but it's really, really nice. Pretty much anytime I smell this, and when other people, when they talk about this fragrance, they only have positive things to say. It is, like one of those, it's like a new classic. Like in 50 years, people are going to be looking back on this and be like, yeah, I remember that when we used to wear Layton, that was, one of the best fragrances out there at the time. This is kind of timeless elegance for men. Definitely elegant, kind of a bit more on the formal side. Really, really good for cold weather because it is so spicy and warm, and really, really good longevity and general performance. I would say between 6 and 8 hours of longevity for this one. So, kind of depends on the weather, how you wear it, that sort of thing. But that's a general rule for how long it should last. And it's just really, really nice. Parfum de Mali is a brand that whenever they produce a fragrance, it's gonna be good. They're gonna put, quality work into it. It's gonna be an important, significant fragrance. So this is just, if you're looking to get attention with your fragrance, just get this. It is on the more expensive side because, like I said, Parfum de Mali, they're a very high-class brand, but this is definitely worth it. It is. No one can ignore the way this smells, so definitely a good option. Then, if you want something a little bit different, a little bit maybe on the smoky side, I would say Tobacco Color from Dior. So this is one of Dior's kind of upper class, more expensive fragrance options. It's unisex and it's really, really good. It is primarily a smoky scent, which you can guess from the name Tobacco Color, and I always say, this does such a good job with the smoke note because sometimes, the tobacco note in fragrances is too strong, too smoky, kind of like you're smoking 12 cigarettes at once, not the best. But this does it in a very smooth and very sophisticated way, very much like, the different notes in a cigar, that sort of thing. So it's very warm, very cozy, very smoky, and it's just nice overall. And they really managed to balance that smoke note with some of the other notes that it has, so it's not too overwhelming, and it's super unique because of the way they approached that tobacco note. It is super unique, and really, you could really easily just attract attention with this because it is so different. And because it is a heavier fragrance, it's no surprise that it's going to last a really long time. I would say 8 hours. Really good for the evening, and also really good for cold weather, especially now that it's autumn and going into winter and all that. But really, really good option for those who prefer smoky fragrances. Then, going for something a bit fresher, I would say Dior Homme Original. Now, they unfortunately do not make the original anymore, but they do make the Eau de Toilette, which is pretty similar. They also make the sport version of Dior Homme, which is also pretty similar. But Dior Homme in general, is just such a good fragrance. Very fresh, I would say. Not icy fresh, not that fresh, but still pretty fresh. I would say it's kind of similar to maybe fresh laundry or a walk through a garden or something. More natural notes, very fresh, very kind of breezy, even a little bit powdery, not in a feminine way. It is kind of unisex. It's not super ultra masculine or anything. A little bit more on the unisex side, but still, it holds on to those masculine notes pretty well, and it's just pleasant. Dior Homme is one of my, just favorite men's fragrances in general because I don't know, there's just something attractive about it. It's like I said, it's clean, it's solid, it's even a little bit sophisticated, a little bit elegant. So it definitely, it stands out from the crowd when you wear Dior Homme. Then, going to another version of Dior Homme, actually. This one I also quite like. This is Dior Homme Intense. So the reason I like this especially is because of the iris note, which I think is just one of the best notes you could put into a fragrance, either men or women's fragrances. And yeah, the iris is super nice, mixed with musk, which is even nicer. So, you're getting a little bit of the natural sweetness of the iris, then you're mixing it with the more musky notes, some more woodsy notes, and you're just creating this fantastic, amazing concoction of smells. And the great thing about this, since it is the intense version, obviously it's going to last quite a long time. It's heavier than your typical Dior Homme. It's probably going to last like 8 hours-ish, maybe a little bit longer. So really good for the evening, really good for cold weather because it's nice and warm and cozy, to warm you up in the cold. And just nice overall. I haven't come across anyone who has said that they hate Dior Homme Intense. So you're pretty much in the clear when you use this. And yeah, I mean, like I said, this is one of my favorite men's scents. It's just really nice. It's different from the rest. Not super aromatic or super clean or super sharp, just nice and warm and cozy. Then, the other one that I have, this is super fresh and sharp. This is Terre d'Hermès Eau Givrée. So this is, I always say, this is the iciest, cleanest, sharpest fragrance that I have come across for men. So this is, first of all, the title that it has, Eau Givrée, means kind of like frosty water or frozen water. So you can get an idea, this is icy fresh. This is primarily meant for warm weather, so the summer when it's hot you want something really, really refreshing to cool you off and to also make sure you smell good. But in general, this is a very reliable fragrance. Now, because it is so light, you have to expect the longevity is not going to be as great. It's more about 4 hours for that. But, you can always reapply it later on when it starts to fade, because the freshness that it has is really unique. It has some wonderful juniper berry notes, which are especially fresh as well. And has some natural notes as well. So you're not smelling too synthetic or too strange or anything. So this is a really good option if you want something super fresh, especially for the warmer months of the year. But that is pretty much all I have to say about men's fragrances that will get the best reactions from women. So hopefully you found this video helpful, and if you did, of course, leave a like, maybe subscribe, and I make videos throughout the week, so stick around for those.